hold on. Before we start this video, I just want to point out how many people um requested this. Shout out to Casey Greg. Apparently yeah, maybe, I don't know. Genders are confusing these days. Uh, this person is a very big fan and was wondering if I could do a standard size theory again, particularly diving deeper into what I glazed over in my big theory episode about how doing the repression. Yep, autocorrect did this depression, and my physical autocorrect did it to read whatever I just said. I can't English. Hello, but basically depression. Nah, I can't do life. Repression and denial. Repression. I'm just gonna repeat that over and over. Okay, but anyway, I got a whole bunch of comments saying, well, 4 actually. I got a notification that a Polly Audrey commented yes to this, but it never actually came through on the comments. So Polly Audrey, Haley Kroger, Willinda Egger, and Casey Greg, shout out to you guys. You guys made this video happen. Back to in real life me. What is up, everybody? It is me, Video President 102, and if you're wondering why the camera quality is on my leg, the camera is on my leg because I recorded this 3 times, and my camera's dumb, and I'm getting frustrated, so doing this on my leg now, so. If you couldn't tell by the opening that I did, guess what? This was requested by people, and I like when things are requested, so if any video ideas, the comments are open. Please use comments. Comments work. I noticed that my last Intersides theory got a low ton of views compared to the rest of my, recent videos, so that's always cool. It's always cool getting a bit more subscribers. I always get, excited. What doesn't everyone? Me over here stating the obvious. If you're wondering why there's no intro and outro, it's because my sister deleted them. And I'm going to have to recreate both of them. And that's annoying. So, on with the theory. I just want to start off by pointing out that Patton is still lying to himself. He is still lying to the others, but that's obvious. Now, what we're going to point out is how we know it and why. Well, as we can see at the end, and I'm going back to my position. As we could tell from the end, there we go. As we could tell from the end of Nostalgia, he was first repressing and denying because he thought he was the good feeling. Well, he didn't think, but he didn't want to show his bad feelings, knowing that that's not him. Or, that's not him. We know that is him because he's emotion. And he originally did this because he missed Thomas's old boyfriend. And they broke up months ago, and he felt foolish for still feeling that way for that long. Now, fast forward to DeWitt. Not DeWitt, courtroom episode, SVS. This was right after he was a dog. And Patton is the cuto doggo. Anyway, back to my points. During this episode, he was first, pretty excited until he realized that he brought up something that could cause Thomas so much conflict. And Thomas originally didn't even forget about the callback. He just pretended like he didn't know so he could go to the... Oh. He pretended to not know about the wedding and said that he didn't so he could go to the callback. Well, Patton is fighting for his life during this episode to make sure that Thomas does the morally right thing. But if you really think about it, what is morally right isn't always actually right. And what probably would have been right is going to that callback. And you know what I just now realized? That I thought that the videos were, not in the present day, because he said April lucky number 13, well, maybe in April, lucky number 13 of this year. That makes sense. In DeWitt, technically the callback hasn't passed yet, or the wedding, so. But anyway, back to my main point before I made that realization that was very stupid for some reason. Patton is here fighting for his life, making sure that Thomas does what he thinks is morally right. Now, with mortality being feelings, what he feels is right is not always the right thing. Princey and Virgil, even if he doesn't want to admit it, are on deceits. Well, I should probably explain because that's confusing. Princey, his pride has been shackled, he's been shunned away, is fighting for attention, and in this case is siding with deceit because deceit's giving him compliments. Logan is actually fighting to go to callback because it'd be more beneficial to Thomas. And Virgil, you could tell that because he is a part of Thomas, he wants to go to the callback. But the thing is, Virgil is too scared to side with deceit, and in this case is siding with Patton, even though we think it's wrong, until the end of the episode when he says that Patton is guilty and that they should be punished. Now, even though he thinks that because that he should go to the callback, I can't talk. Even though he thinks he should go to the wedding because he doesn't want to hurt his friends, it's not the right thing, which crushes Patton. And he's fine for the rest of the episode, even though he probably isn't. Then we go on to DeWitt, dealing with intrusive thoughts. If you never heard the acronym, which if you haven't, are you living under a rock? So in DeWitt, Patton starts off the episode with trying to shut down the act of Thomas having bad thoughts. He's like, come on, no, not that. When they start talking about, the thoughts. And I'm here thinking he is pushing away from the fact that he had bad thoughts, which is repression and denial. Then we fast forward through the episode when Patton explains that it's okay that Thomas has these bad thoughts. First thing that comes to mind is, why did you give Thomas permission? That, even though Thomas explained that it did make him feel better for some odd reason, how does that make him feel better? And also, why do you need permission from your mortality to have these thoughts? They're natural, and I feel like giving permission is a little unnecessary, so I think Patton's hiding something over here. Ooh. He's hiding my lost knitting needle. That's what he's hiding. I found my lost knitting needle. So, back to the main point, because on my channel we get distracted a lot. Patton, our sweet little Patton, is being ripped apart. And he listens to Logan at the end of the episode by saying, stop worrying about Princey. The question is if Thomas is okay. But here's the thing. At this point, each main side has its own, rough time. Princey's faltering with his pride. Mortality is, into this depressive state. Virgil is on the height of anxiety. He's on the other side of that unicorn horn that was going somewhere. And I can't really pinpoint about Logan right now. But, he probably has something going on that I'm not noticing. I'll make that a theory if I figure out what's going on with Logan. But each side has its own, right now. And I go silent and laugh, and I don't know why. So anyway, each individual side's going through its rough times, and Logan shuns their feelings down and says, let's focus on Thomas. And that could really hurt Patton knowing that they're thinking that their thoughts don't matter and what really matters is Thomas. Now what Logan doesn't realize is that the sides are Thomas. So if you focus, Roman said he had a realization. We don't know what the realization is because, had to take away that and give it to Thomas. Well, Princey's pride. You're shackling his pride. He's probably crushed right now. And that's why he didn't really do much during Healthy Distractions. Continuing from that, if you help Princey, that would help Thomas. If you help Patton, that would help Thomas. If you help Virgil, that would help Thomas. So helping the sides individually is not only faster and better, but a smarter way to handle Thomas's situations. Like if you focus on Thomas probably doesn't know how to explain his feelings. Thomas probably doesn't know what's going on with his feelings. All he knows is that he's in a jumble and he wants to cry. Because I could just feel it. He looked like he was going to cry that whole entire time while watching Frozen. And I know that real life Thomas can't cry on the spot, and that's why he hasn't cried in a Sanders Size video. But character Thomas really looked like he was going to cry during that last episode. And, So anyway, here is our baby boy siding with Logan because Patton trusts Logan as his friend or son or husband. Anyway, I'm gonna stop shipping because some of you guys don't ship that, and some of you guys called me out when I was reviewing Healthy Distractions and saying, "Oh, what if you don't?" I said, "Look at Princey, ship, because he said he shuns saying mean words is how I show my love." And then someone were like, he says mean words to Logan too. But may I point out that he was doing them to Virgil first. And he only stopped doing it to Virgil because he felt like an outcast, and Princey probably didn't want him to feel like an outcast anymore. Like, he only did Logan because he couldn't do Virgil anymore. And just think, Logan's probably the closest thing you're getting to Virgil, so. Ship, cold, ship. I need to stop. Okay. And going back to my main topic for the 30,000th time in this episode, Patton is in a jumble, and like I was gonna do in my last, 3 videos when I was gonna do this, we're heading over to Healthy Distractions. Now, there is like 30,000. What's my deal with the number 30,000 in this episode? But there's like so many things indicating that something's up with Patton. For one, he only really talks like in his Patton-y way when he makes the Frozen puns, but besides that, he's either trying to calm down Virgil without knowing how to calm him down, making him worse, or referencing a very specific line in Frozen. Now, you should watch my review in this, link in iCard, because it really ties in with the theory I'm about to do. So, stay with me here. I know I'm jammering a lot, but please stay with me. Patton. When I first watched Healthy Distractions, I noticed that Patton sung a specific line in Let It Go. Princey has not sung at all. No one has been, noticing the lyrics except for, not a photo to be seen with Princey, but Princey has not sung, but Patton did. And the line that Patton decided to recite is, "Conceal, don't feel." Is anyone, noticing any red flags? And I noticed that the very first time I watched it on camera, so if you don't believe me, iCard, look at it. All I'm saying, yeah. That's a major red flag when the character that is emotion and is distraught sings a specific line of something. Thomas is probably trying to nudge at us saying, hey, look at Patton's, something's wrong with Patton. Pay attention to him. But nope, for this episode we focus on Virgil, and I get why. To be honest, we really haven't had a Virgil-focused episode really in a long time. The first one I could think of at the top of my head is Accepting Anxiety, but I know there has to be one after that. Well, duh, the Halloween episode, I'm stupid. But, yeah. You guys get the point. Patton says very few things in this episode. And he's either puns, that one line from Let It Go, or trying to calm down Virgil. Now, sadly, I do not remember what order it came in, but during the argument with Virgil, he says, "I think we should settle into things." And Virgil's like, well, you've taken your sweet time getting settled into things, which is probably referring back to the nostalgia episode, which probably reminds Patton, and he tries to put on, a smile face. He emoji, hello. And then he's like, well, I think we should just relax and enjoy the movie. And then Virgil replies with, you know who you're talking to, right? He's talking to Anxiety. He's supposed to tell Anxiety to calm down. And Anxiety, in the nostalgia episode, was like, I've always been afraid of losing your loved ones, and that actually happened. I never knew what to do since. Well, Anxiety's really freaking out now because, at least during nostalgia, it really wasn't Thomas's fault that they lost, the boyfriend. But in this episode, it was definitely Thomas's fault if they lost this friend. And this is completely tearing Anxiety apart, knowing that it was his fault that they lost him due to Thomas lashing out about, yeah, me kissing a guy is wrong or whatever he said. I can't quote, hello. And of course, if Anxiety's not okay, then Thomas, Thomas barely said a word during this whole episode. The only time he really talked, besides the intro and outro, was when Logan told him to point the items out. But besides that, the sides did most of the talking. Out of all of them, Logan did most of the talking. And one part of me wants to say that's very weird, but the other part's like, nah, that's not weird. Logan talks a lot, sometimes too much. But if you think about it, the other sides really don't say anything. Thomas doesn't say anything. Like, it's not weird to hear Logan talk a lot, but it is weird to only remember him talking for the most part. Princey didn't really say anything into the situation except when he wanted to direct everyone's attention back to Frozen and make fun of it. Patton didn't really talk until he sang that bit of Let Go, told those few ice puns, and had that quote-unquote argument with Virgil. Virgil only talked when he was very anxious. Like, he just totally interrupted the fun with, what if your soulmate was at that party and you didn't get to meet him? He didn't really contribute unless it was something like, hello, I'm Anxiety, I'm doing my job, you just delete us. The only one that really calmly talked like a normal person in the episode was Logan. And if Patton isn't, at least trying to put up a act, that something's not right with him. And guess what? They don't even address Patton not being okay in that episode. Logan slightly addresses Virgil not being okay. And he was, about to have an anxiety attack. Virgil was that bad during the episode. He was literally shaking. Virgil was shaking, and they barely addressed him. Patton was not talking, only made a couple puns, barely enjoying the movie. They didn't address his worries at all. How do you think this makes everyone feel? Just address the sides and Thomas will be okay. I get it, focus on Thomas, but stop focusing on him so much. The sides are Thomas. You fix the sides' problems, you fix Thomas's problems. They're the same freaking person. And I will repeat that 1,000 times. Logan, focus on the sides, not on Thomas. The sides are related to Thomas. If you fix them, you fix Thomas. Whew. That always bugged me. And it probably will always bug me until Logan fixes himself. And I am not blaming Thomas, I'm not blaming Joan, I'm not blaming Talon because they're the scriptwriters. I'm talking this as if Logan is a real person that I could slap in the face. Because if I would... Because currently, this has nothing to do with Logan, Logan as a person. He's a great person, he's a baby boy, I want to cuddle him and love him for always. But currently, he's my least favorite character because he's so distracted with trying to make Thomas feel better that he's ignoring the other characters, in which could unlock the key to make Thomas feel better. He's the smart one, but he only provides facts that can help you eventually feel better. If he knew a little bit more about emotion and could emotion better, then this could have been over by the end of the episode instead of using a fan fiction to distract them, because you know this problem's going to pop back up in another episode because this is only a distraction. You're not actually solving the problem in this episode. So I get they're trying to get the point across because I know that they've addressed before to not distract yourself from the main problem unless it's absolutely necessary, and this is showing you how to to distract yourself in a healthy way if necessary, but like probably not the best time, Logan. And there is stuff that you could physically do always to, well, not always, but in this situation that you're currently in, Logan, there was ways for you to solve the problem. But here you go again, not knowing how to feeling. And the thing is, I wanted, even though this is from a blooper episode and is totally not really canon, I'm calling the 2 o'clock and I don't know what I'm doing anymore canon. That has nothing to do with what I'm about to say, but I just want to point that out. But Logan says, Patton, where you been? You're here, being a puppet, and now you're coming over here. Oh, you want to talk about feelings? That blooper I want to bring up. And I'm talking about Logan as a character, not Thomas playing Logan. Logan. Even though he wasn't saying this to Patton because this was a blooper and, all that stuff. What if Logan actually said that to Patton? Patton would be, done with life. Even though, Logan was laughing the whole time and you never see him laugh. I know it's a blooper. Just like, please, come along with me, please. You just don't get my rage with this. Like, I love Logan. I love Logan so much, but right now he's my least favorite character. Because I think he's hurting Thomas more than helping him. Like, there are so many things I can see Logan doing as the calm, collected one to help the situation. And he is not doing none of them. He could, maybe talk to Anxiety or Patton or Princey individually and help them resolve their problems, kind of like Dr. Picani. Like, Logan, be their therapist. I don't know. That'd be a really cool Sandra Sides episode, though. The sides going to see Dr. Picani. I don't know how that'd work, though, because Sandra Sides are quote-unquote fake for character Thomas. And Dr. Picani is real with real-life people, even though, he's a character. But he is meant to be real life, and the Sandra Sides are meant to be figments of Thomas's imagination, even in the series. Are you following along? Because I'm confusing myself. But I get it. I get myself. You guys probably don't. If you have any questions, that's what the comment section's for. Anyway, continuing. Logan could also maybe try to figure out the answer himself, but instead he decides to have Princey mess everything. Well, Princey's not messing anything up. He's doing what helps him relax. But my point is, Patton is dying. Virgil is dying. Patton's lying to himself about how things are. Logan could solve this like this because he's smart, he's collected, he knows facts. He just can't feeling. And this is why I wish that we had the Logan from the first episode. He was still able to smile, he was still able to joke around, but he was still a smart one. Like, episode 1 Logan would be perfect for nowadays, but now he's put off as this emotionless robot that only really feels anger. No one can only feel anger. No one can have no emotion, even if it is the logical part of your brain. Because as the logical part of your brain, it cannot have emotion because, mortality. But as a character, as a human in a character universe, everyone has feelings, and so should logic, and he should. Now, sometimes it's impossible to understand feelings, but he should grasp onto them slightly more easier than mortality because he could step back, stay calm, collected, and analyze the situation as if Patton would either cry. Like, I could just imagine in every situation that distraughts Patton, him going to his room after the episode and crying on the couch. Am I the only one that thinks this? Maybe. I don't know. And I've been ranting about the same sentence over and over for the past 10 minutes, but there's so much stuff that Logan can do that he refuses to do. And even though from the end of DeWitt to Healthy Distractions, he has shown how much he's not hurting them, but he's also not helping them. He's just kind of keeping them in the same place. Like, he's keeping them on a fence post tied with a rope. He's not helping them because he's keeping them from going anywhere. He's not hurting them because you can't hurt anyone by tying them to a pole and with a rope. Like, you're not helping them, you're not hurting them. You're keeping them in the same place. You're not Loganing. And being honest, I don't know if I could see Logan doing this honestly or not. Knowing that he can't emotion, well, or at least thinking that he can't emotion, that's another theory for another day. He probably thinks that he knows everything, or as brought up in the Harry Potter episode, he knows that he's smarter than everyone. But really, when it comes to the problems that Thomas is having lately, he is one of the most dumbfounded ones there. I think at this point, deceit could be a better logic in these situations than actual logic. Like, if I'm about to bring up the fact that I wanted to see deceit in a Snake-O Wednesday at the Frozen party, but that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. But then again, does anything I'm talking about go to the fact of what I'm talking about? Anybody just realized I haven't talked about Patton lying to himself for like the past 15 minutes. But like I was saying, Logan just saying that Thomas is more important than these sides is probably contributing to Patton lying to himself. That is terribly wrong. And that's basically how I'm going to wrap this up. We can't really go deeper into this until the next episode when we learn more about Princey. I'm really mostly worried about Patton and Princey because we know anxiety. He's anxiety. He's been doing this whole thing the whole entire time. Got a little bit bad in this last episode, but it's anxiety. That's natural. It's not natural for Princey to be this, especially while watching a Disney movie. And it's not natural for Patton to do what he's doing. Princey and Patton, the two we need to worry about right now, and the two that's being ignored. Hashtag save sides. Check out my merch store. We have limited edition 100 subscriber merch going out in I think a week now. Like, limited time. You can only buy it for a limited time. There's only a week left to buy it. Please buy it. It comes in 2 hoodie forms, 1 zip-up small logo, 1 big logo. It comes in a t-shirt and a mug. There's also a I'm walking to school, help me design. Wattpad read aloud design. Do your best design. A VP 102 design. And my logo. So, hope you like all that. And if you can't afford merch, there is always my Patreon. We could play $1, $5, $10, $25, $50, or $75 to support me with the tiers. And if you're wondering why there's a $75 tier, because I wanted to add a very special reward that I think would only be possible with the $75 tier. So I'm sorry if you're like she barely has 100 subscribers. Why is she doing that? Well, now you know why. Please check out my social medias. They should all be in the link. They should all be linked in the description. Check out my last theory that kind of connects with this one in my review of Healthy Distractions, which also ties into this video. And until next time, do your best.